What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Rexrex here on Warp Taste Podcast, and I have a very special guest today. I have Derek Bloom, and you might remember him from such things as the Color of Violence, Color of Violins. Heck, you may even remember him from this little band. They were kind of big on MySpace. They were called From First to Last. But we have the amazing drummer and awesome human being, Derek Bloom, here today. What's up, Derek?
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
How's everything been going, dude? I know that I think we'll just get the big elephant out of the room. There are people worried that Derek Bloom is no longer part of From First to Last because for the last few releases and they played Furnace Fest, Louder Than Life. You're not there. You get people worried that you're not part of the band anymore. But I think I think you
Yeah,
can
no,
clarify that.
no, there's no like drama or anything. I just it's expensive living in Southern California,
Hey,
and and my job was taking a lot of a, a physical toll and all of that. And so it just I don't think I've even played drums since the last If I Die First show, which
no,
was,
really?
yeah, maybe what, 2 years ago. I think it was like
Yeah,
2023 or
it was
something.
at like 1720. I think was the last time you guys played, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and I like because I can only I just there's some conditions for when I can play and all this stuff from my rehearsal space, and so sometimes that schedule doesn't align with my work schedule or whatever, and then it gets to be like 5 months, and then you're just like, oh fuck, this is gonna be brutal when I get back down. And it's
Yeah.
just, now it's been like 2 years. So I just have a lot of work to do to get back in the saddle and kind of get back in shape. And now I've adjusted my work schedule so that I have actual time to do that. And so I'm trying to kind of get back in the swing of things now, but it's going to take a while, and I'd much rather um just not play and have somebody that we love and trust, like Chris, in there playing and doing an amazing job, and knowing that he's putting like 100% in and killing it. I'd rather have that happen than me go out there and be just huffing and puffing, playing the parts poorly, and then just feeling fucking awful about it on top of that.
Right.
It's just like the
Nope.
worst of all worlds. So like it's so much better to like I said, Chris has been a part of the band in one way or another. I mean, pretty much since right after Dear Diary. He
Yeah.
was living with us since he was a teenager. He's been part of the family for forever. So there's literally nobody better that could be doing it.
Fine.
And it's all love with everybody. Like it's just yeah, it's just been inconvenient for me having an apartment to
Yeah.
to be doing music lately, and so it's yeah, it is what it is. Sorry for the text.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I mean, to the uninitiated, because some people just don't know better. Chris Lent, who's doing drums now, he's played drums for I Set My Friends on Fire. He's Polyphia's drum tech. He was your drum tech for the longest time.
Hmm.
He also played keyboards
Yeah.
and a
Yeah,
self-titled.
yeah, and we, like when we were writing the Heroin record in Albany, Georgia, we were living in a house that was shared with his band back then, the Dead
Mhm.
Reckless.
Yeah.
And so we've just been around and been friends and been super tight since forever. So like I said, it's just he's always been part of the family. There's nobody better that could do it.
Yeah. Without a doubt, man. I mean, it's just I mean, from First Class has always been kind of like a collective because you got, every project kind of connects with one another because like Travis and Chris had a big hand in I Set My Friends on Fire's first record. The Color of Violence, like most people don't even know that was a collective as well because you guys had the drummer from Daughters, you had Wes Borland playing bass, you had
Well,
just like
when it started, everybody in FFTL was in it, and our tour manager Chad was. Like it was literally all of us, and we did a tour for it in my fucking Toyota Corolla, like up
did
the
you
East Coast.
I mean, didn't you guys also like go to Japan at one point? Because I remember I interviewed Matt when Matt was in the band. I think it was like Fetus Destroyer or whatever it was
Oh
called.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, we didn't ever do any international shows for Color Violence. I think we only ever went to Japan for FFTL once to do a
huh,
like a showcase for Interscope Japan and do like a we did one small show and like 3 days of press in a room
oh, wow.
and like random, but I think that's the only time we ever had the kind of privilege of getting over there.
Yeah. I know that that self-titled has some like rare like Japanese bonus tracks. And I
Yeah.
know that every time I try to upload ones that are just exclusive to Japan, that I mean Japan has a very strict copyright law and they just take those things down right
Oh,
away.
really?
Yeah, it's crazy because I always felt like Tick Tick Tomorrow acoustic, like amazing song. Like there's just so much like sound design. It's just very
Yeah.
trippy. You got steel
Y-
guitar in it and just it's just
You know
so
what's
good.
what's really cool too is I think the guy that like recorded and engineered those songs was a friend of mine named Ken Pattengale, who if anybody's into like folk music or any of that, he's in a really amazing kind of folkish. I'm not sure what they would call themselves, but really beautiful, like two guitarists and singers kind of um really beautiful harmonizing and all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
called the Milk Carton Kids, and they're
Yeah.
on Anti as well. But I've known him since high school, and
Yeah.
he helped us out and recorded those
Yeah.
songs. And
That's what's up.
it's a cool little kind of Easter egg thing because he's become so successful in his own right, and is such a just amazingly talented musician and artist and producer and all of that. He's, if anybody's into that stuff, he's got albums and albums of incredible shit.
Awesome. Yeah, I honestly wish people listened to Medicinal Reality like acoustic as much as they did Emily because
Mm,
that song is like haunting, like as an acoustic rendition. Because like the
mm.
electric version is great. I love the electric version. That's probably my favorite song off of self-titled. But like the acoustic versions of all those songs, Worlds Away, it's just you're doing more interesting stuff. There's like bongos. There's just all kinds of like variety of like
Man,
instrumentation used to create
yeah.
like
You'll have to send me some of those. I don't even think I've heard those in probably like 10 years.
I got a Google Drive folder that's just full of just like between the bars by Matt Good type stuff. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
rare, just all kinds of just stuff that's just been laying
Yeah.
around on like
I'm
spot
sure
not
there's
spot, like LimeWire and stuff. Just stuff that's been sitting around on pure volume and it just before the great purge of MySpace.
That's so funny. Yeah, yeah. Send those to me, please. I'd love to check them out. Like I said, I probably haven't heard those since they were recorded.
Oh,
You know,
I'll have to check. I'll have to shoot those over to you, man. So
I know there was a funny. I think we did like an MTV2 like appearance thing or something on that press cycle, and we did acoustic performances of a couple of those songs, and it was me, Matt, and Travis all playing guitar at the same time.
that's sick. Yeah, I remember there's a live video of you guys playing at like a record store or something. It's just so cool. It's just that it's just like a testament to the talent involved that you guys can all like scream, write lyrics, play guitar, drums. It's a very
Yeah.
creative atmosphere and from first to last.
Yeah, yeah, if anything, I think
Yeah.
everybody always had a lot of ideas. Ideas were never the problem.
Awesome, man. So you have been working, I mean, I think the Color of Violence came back in like 2017, 2018 with the Halloween mixtapes, which kind
Mhm.
of like set the stage, I would say, because they started becoming the Cholera Violins mixtapes. And
Yeah, for sure.
I
I
think
know, I'm sure it's probably been a really fucking confusing road for anybody trying to follow it, like it just sort of we experimented a lot for probably like 4 years. I would go to Travis's place every day after work, and we would just make a new song every day, or work on what we had done the previous day until it was finished, and kind of went that, you know what I mean? And went that
Mhm.
way, making instrumentals after instrumental after instrumental and all kinds of different shit, just sort of purging like whatever would come out came out. Sometimes it was like hardcore, sometimes it was really atmospheric, sometimes it was like surf guitar shit, sometimes it, you know, whatever. It was totally directionless. And so then after a while we started kind of narrowing down on things, and that's where we, we kind of forked the two projects off, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that one EP that had Ritual and Mine and those songs on it, that's like a bit more doomy metal. There's like a
Yeah.
whole album worth of those songs. There's like 5 other songs that are like almost completely finished, you know, just like some other stuff. I'd really like to finish that in the next year or so,
Yeah.
and put it out as like a full album, you know. But it gets hard,
Mhm.
it just gets hard to justify going back working on something that's like 7 years old when you
Yeah.
have so much new stuff and other you know what I mean? It can kind
I
of
get
like
it.
it so I'd really like to get that finished. I think I'm more sentimental about stuff than Travis is, you know, so there'll be stuff that I feel really like emotionally connected to that he's like, bro, that's so fucking old. Just fucking forget it. Like, you know, move on. Like, but I do hope that eventually that'll see the light of day because I thought that was a fun little kind of stop in that evolution, you know.
Mhm.
And there was some cool ideas going on there. There was like a song on there that we sampled the brakes on this truck that just like the brakes were out of control, squealing and all this stuff, and then turned it into part of a string section and other stuff. It's just like fun experimentation and
Uh, I don't know what you guys are doing with the hertz or the sound design or whatever it is, but I mean, I was talking to you earlier today about this, but my
yeah.
10-year-old autistic stepson who is nonverbal, can't talk, for some reason, it doesn't matter. I could put on any band and he'll be like, or he'll just be like, change this. I don't like it. But if I put on Cholera Violins, not so much the surf grind era of the Cholera Violins. I don't think
Yeah,
that's my
yeah,
bread and butter. I mean,
yeah.
Dreadophile and Bethel, those things. It just the metal aspect of the Cholera Violence. But your sound design on all your trippy, atmospheric, art experimental, goth rock, whatever you want to call it, it just soothes the savage beast, and he's just chill. We get along. He's not demanding nothing, and we can kind of meet eye to eye, and it makes babysitting so much more like easier. So you're like my secret weapon at daddy
Hell
daycare.
yeah.
So I
No,
appreciate the heck out of
y-
you, man.
yeah, no, I'm happy to hear it. Happy to hear it.
You found your audience, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. We'll build an army.
You did it once, man. You guys got a bunch of kids dressing like y'all in the MySpace era because I mean, I don't think anyone emulated the appearance of a band any more than y'all on MySpace, to be perfectly honest. Because I mean, people say like 18 Visions brought like skinny jeans, tight pants to like the core scene,
Yeah.
but I think like that whole package where you had the makeup, the hair, just everything about it was very emulatable. And like I think like after y'all did that, like everyone was like, we should probably all start doing that because I don't know, My Chemical Romance gets credit for it, like trying to be like that, but they weren't wearing like super skinny jeans. They were wearing like suits and matching attire, bulletproof vests. But from
Yeah.
first to
I
last was like, yeah, I mean, go
yeah,
ahead, man. My bad.
no, no, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm a very like not fashion forward person. So I think I I wouldn't take credit for it for anything like that. The other guys I think had um a lot more conscious, you know what I mean, kind of
Mhm.
ideas. Like they were I don't know, more aware of that kind of stuff. I've always kind of been a little less like I don't know. I I'd like plain clothes. Like, no, I don't want to stand out. You know what I mean? I'm very kind of I just want to blend in or
Yeah.
whatever.
I
Um,
mean, I
but
think you're like usually responsible though, because like I think all the other guys, because they went to Full Sail University and all this, like
Yeah.
they kind of had like similar music palettes. But then, like when you joined the band, you were showing them stuff they'd never even heard of or thought of, and it just like brought
Yeah.
this whole different dynamic to the band.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. I think even just, yeah, being from the West Coast, you know what I mean? The exposure to underground music and stuff in LA is so much crazier. Like you see so much more at such younger
Mhm.
ages and stuff than out there. I think like Florida and shit feels like back then anyway, at least like when I first moved there, so much of it just felt so cultureless. Like it's
Yeah,
just because it's such a tourist culture. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like
for sure.
it's just
I always
strip
felt
it
I
was so
always
many
felt like that
strip
though.
malls and
Yeah,
like like it's just kind of like shit that you'll find anywhere on the side of the
yeah,
freeway. And it wasn't until I lived there for a while and you start finding the like small, little neighborhoody stuff
spots.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and whatever. But
I just like as someone I grew up in Southern California myself. I'm from the Inland Empire. So um whenever I moved like to Northern California, I live in Arizona now. When I lived in Mexico, everywhere I've lived, it always feels like they're like a little bit behind Southern California because it's like right next to Hollywood, all the entertainment industry, fashion, all this. It feels like when you're there, you feel like you're more up to date, and then when you go somewhere else, everyone feels like they're just catching up, and you're like, "Oh, I remember that from like 6 months ago. Why are you guys still doing that?"
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're just exposed to things. Yeah, a lot quicker because you're closer to where everything's going on, you know?
Right. I feel that.
Um, but
So
yeah.
you guys have a new song out with Cholera Violins, actually 3 songs, 1
Yeah.
remix. Did you wanna go over that? Let us know how,
Well,
like, that came to be?
it's funny, man, because those songs are just another example of like I think I've been sitting on those for 2 years. At times, I think I've had for 5 years in
Mhm.
one form or another and have just been reworking it. I ended up it's so fucked up. So like that instrumental, I made that and that all of the drums in that are Travis's mouth. Like he just sent me what he was like, yeah, some drums that sound like this. Like and sent and I was like, "Wait, why don't you just send me each drum with your mouth individually and I'll just use those and fuck with them." And so that's what I did. And so all of that percussion is just Travis's mouth. And I spent so much time like fucking with all of these different synths and all of this different shit and got a mix that I really liked. And then I spilled a Diet Coke on my laptop and I lost that whole hard drive and all I had were the bounces of that mix. And so that song is kind of just like I loved that instrumental so much. And I initially had those lyrics over another song, but they fit well over that and I just wanted to be able to use it for something
Yeah,
since the whole session just got
yeah.
wasted along with a bunch of other shit. But
Yeah,
so
that's great.
anyway, yeah, it was like one of those things, like I had been on such a fucking I had just been on one with that session for like probably a couple days nonstop doing shit that I'd never be able to recreate or even remember what patches I used or what
Yeah.
processing I was using on top of that and all that is just would never be possible to recreate it. So it was the say goodbye and then brand new life. Yeah, it's like probably 2 years old and
Yeah.
had just been going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to release that or we had another batch of songs. There's probably like 8 songs that got written in Georgia in like February of 2023
Yeah.
and I've been trying to me and Travis have both been trying to finish those up for like an EP. So there's a handful of finished stuff that's ready to be put out. And that was a song from that session that just got finished a lot quicker.
Yeah. That's crazy because I remember listening to you guys. You guys were on, Eric and Braden's podcast, Note to Self,
Hmm.
and, Travis on that podcast was talking about, like, they're like, "How do you guys make beats?" And Travis is like, "Well, I just use my mouth sometimes, I just do that
Yeah,
after a while.
yeah,
You
yeah,
just beatboxing, and you can get a beat, just change it, just modify it. It'll sound like drums eventually."
yeah, yeah.
He's
It
I love Travis. I think the most, like, cause just to reference that podcast, like, the craziest thing I learned about that was Travis had 2 broken arms while he was recording Dear Diary.
Dude, yeah, I mean that shit was crazy. That happened while we were on tour. We were playing wall ball at a like a Jiffy Lube or somewhere while the van was getting worked on, and he just tripped and hit the wall with his head and broke his fall with his arms, and both of his arms broke. And I remember we had to take him to the hospital there in like the middle of nowhere, I think in Virginia, and fucking the van was like breaking down. We ended up parking in this like kind of way outer parking lot of the hospital, and we set up drums and the cabinets in the parking lot and just played like Nirvana songs and practiced and stuff in the parking lot. They plugged their amps into a power inverter that plugged into our van cigarette lighter. So we were playing full, but nobody ever even came over and told us to fuck off. Like we just did it until we got bored
That's
and
their
then put
fault.
it away. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Travis went home, and we ended up actually like that van was so fucked up and so many of the shows were canceled. We were just trying to get home. It was right after we signed to Epitaph. We ended up abandoning the van in like a movie theater parking lot because all four of the tires were blown. And it was Matt had just been attacking it with a hatchet for like a while. And and we ended up riding from like Virginia back to Florida in a U-Haul truck, but me and John, our old bassist, had to stay in the box.
Yeah.
And it was like before smartphones, you know. So I think I had like an iPod or a CD player or something for the ride back and
Wow,
just
that's pretty much like in Home Alone when they're trying to get home and they're just all hanging out in the back of the U-Haul truck.
yeah, yeah, I mean literally, no light, just a sleeping bag and an iPod or whatever.
Wow. That's absolutely insane. This the like I don't think people realize that, like, people think that touring is this big glamorous thing. You're on a giant bus and you're just living the dream, but it's literally like being a musician for the most part is kind of just being like a glorified hobo in the circus. Like,
I mean, even that shit though, I think when you're like 19 or something, that's glamorous too. You're
right?
getting out and fucking around and just being a little shit, and it's fun.
I mean, you guys were popular for it too. I mean,
Yeah,
I
for
think
better, for it maybe more infamous for it, I think. People didn't appreciate a lot of the antics back in the day, but it's
you
funny to laugh about now.
right, right, right. I mean, I mean, people are gonna be in the comment sections asking anyway. I mean, I guess I can just address it anyway. Do you have maybe like a good memory you'd like to share with your time when you had some guy named Sonny Moore in the band? I think he was kind of popular.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
do you have
sure.
do you have something maybe just to give the people that are gonna be in the comment section going, "Where's Sonny?" Just
No, I
something to live
mean,
for?
I can tell a funny story about the last time I saw Sonny. Was because he does a pretty good job of like he'll come into town, and if he has something going on that he thinks like would be a good fit for me, he'll hit me up and invite me. And he was working on some stuff at his studio and invited me to come take part and help out in a little session, which I was really grateful for. But I have a tendency of just always kind of uh fucking up these opportunities, and not on purpose, and not maybe it's a subconscious thing or something, but it's funny. And so I ended up going over there, but I hadn't really eaten all day, and we worked on some music for a little bit. They showed me what they were doing, and I started trying to write some ideas down and stuff, and we smoked a spliff, and we're talking, and all of a sudden I just got so sick, and I could feel it coming. And I was like, "Hey, you know what? I gotta go." And I just walked out the front door, and he kind of came after me and was like, yo, no, no, what's going on? And I ended up projectile vomiting all over the driveway of the studio, and then got in my Uber and left. So, you know, I can't even imagine the what he was thinking after that. But it was I couldn't help but laugh. It's just like the worst possible thing to happen.
Sorry, Sonny. I didn't mean to throw up all over your driveway, dude.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah,
go.
yeah, for sure. He's such a good sport. He's such a sweet guy. It's like he didn't even give me shit. He was like, "Oh, okay."
I get
Yeah,
it.
oh yeah, know that.
Oh,
All
I
right,
wouldn't want to be
yeah.
here either if I was.
Yeah, yeah. So,
I mean, you still,
all the love in the world to him.
yeah. That's a candid story right there. I don't think we can top that. I don't think there's no memory right there that's gonna beat that.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, there's lots of like funny old tour memories and shit. I remember him, some other people teaching him how to drive in like a Walmart parking lot while the bus was parked there to get groceries and stuff, like little
yeah,
weird shit like that.
that's what's up. So I think when we touched base to do this interview again, I think the last time we did an interview, I told you I just read an article where Wes Borland had cited you as somebody that helped improve him as a guitarist. And it took me like I think the last time we had an interview was like 2 years ago. It took me about 2 years to find that interview again,
Yeah, yeah,
where
that
I
was
said that and Wes Borland himself, the guy from Limp Bizkit, in case anyone
yeah,
who's watching this doesn't know who the Blacklight Burns guy is, Wes Borland was a member of From First to Last during the heroin era, and he wasn't a studio session guitarist. I mean, that's probably how it started, but he was actually like a full fledged member. He was on tour, he was on stage, he was in his underwear with black X's on his nipples. He was a part of From First to Last for a little bit before Blacklight Burns came calling, and he needed to finish up his commitments, but uh, how did that make you feel just to read an article from like I think that was from like 2018 or 2015, something like that. But to read an article with a world-class, commercially successful Wes Borland just being like, yeah, Derek Bloom, he was in From First to Last, and he just had this like, it seemed like he was rushing, but he was like in the pocket, and it made him a better guitarist. How does that make you feel?
No, yeah, I mean, it's beyond flattering, Wes is like such a sweet guy too. Like I feel like we were really lucky to be able to meet him and get to play with him and kind of learn from him. It definitely, I think, wised up a lot of the people in the band too, to have, kind of somebody they respect that's a bit older on board, kind of putting them on game to just certain things about the industry, or just whatever, just being around him, kind of soaking up whatever he wanted to share, and
Yeah.
it was definitely, yeah, a real privilege.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Because I mean, the Heroin album. I mean, you guys recorded that in Weed, California, I believe.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
guys worked with Ross Robinson, and I think the
yeah,
first time I interviewed you back on Demo Team podcast, I think you said that was like the most like brutalized your hands had ever gotten playing drums. I think next to like Thrown to the Wolves, where you were just kind of like pushing yourself. But I think
yeah,
wasn't
no,
that
that
like part of it? Like,
yeah, yeah, for sure. We did pre-production in Hollywood at God, I can't remember the name of the studio, but it's like one of the staples in Hollywood, for rehearsal spaces like that. And we would go there every day for like 12 hours. And you know, for the first week or week and a half of that pre-production, it was all just him standing in front of the drums going harder, 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 harder. And so I mean, you know, it didn't take very long for to wear through all the calluses I already had and get new blisters and have to tape up my hands and all this. I think I remember every day we would go to the liquor store next door and I'd get like one of those liquor store vitamin packs, like the big like 10 vitamins or whatever, you know, that makes your like piss fucking neon. and and I'd get like a monster and a huge thing of water and just
Yeah.
and I think like about 10 ibuprofen, you know, and we would just yeah go and it was brutal, but I mean it made me such a better drummer, you
Yeah.
know.
Breakfast
I
breakfast of champions, man.
yeah, well, I mean, not the vitamins and shit, but but just the that kind of discipline and that kind of pushing through the pain and pushing through your own boundaries. You know what I mean? Kind
Yeah.
of. I had never. I wasn't really athletic as a kid or anything, and so like even though I would maybe think I was pushing myself when I would rehearse, it was nothing like that. Like nothing
Yeah.
that was like having a personal trainer or someone like you going through a boot camp, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but again, like it was such a, I mean, like playing after that was such a different, you know, going from like being worried about if you're going to nail the parts to like you don't even have to think about nailing the parts.
Yeah.
You're thinking about what you want to add and fuck
Uh,
around with and other stuff. And it's just such a different feeling when you're playing, like when it's
got
that,
that ultra instinct, man. I
yeah,
know the moves
it's,
before I even make them.
yeah, it's just like a comfort level, right?
Yeah.
Like a confidence, a comfort
Yeah.
level that comes from, I think, just that kind of discipline
That's what's
rehearsal.
up, man. I mean, what else is in the news? I mean, I know that from first to last played Furnace Fest today. I recorded the whole set. I literally did that, and then you hit me up and we jumped in on this. One song they played that I was really cool because I thought it was just going to be like a Dear Diary heroine. They played Aesthetic. They played My Heart, Your Hands from Aesthetic, but they also played Two as One, which you
Oh,
guys played
nice.
on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Which, given
Yeah.
the current news of today, not to get current events on
Yeah.
you, but can
Yeah, no,
you
for
like
sure.
shine some light on that? Because you guys did play Jimmy Kimmel, which was basic cable, which is probably like maybe like considering how many people are watching Jimmy Kimmel and how many people have watched it on YouTube since it's uploaded all the time. I uploaded it recently myself and got like 10,000 views off of it just
Yeah.
off Facebook alone. But what was that
Yeah.
like just being on Jimmy Kimmel? Because the only time I seen a band play there was Linkin Park and I saw them. It was amazing. So I can only imagine from an audience perspective. But playing Jimmy Kimmel Live, what was that like?
You know, I mean, it was cool. Like it was definitely something I think I'd always like dreamed about doing. You know, you grow up and see bands on all those late night shows and stuff. And so it was an honor to be able to do it. I think that was one of the perks that comes with being on like a major, you know. I think we were on Interscope at the time or on Suretone,
Yeah.
like a imprint on Interscope. And and yeah, I mean, I remember we were all super pumped, like fucking super nervous, you know. But but uh but yeah, it was great. Fucking Tommy Lee was standing in the back watching, I remember. And and I remember being like, this fucking dude's a drummer. He hasn't even looked at me the whole time. It's like I must be sucking. But I mean, yeah, dude, it was fun. It was cool.
I'm sorry, just the idea of Derek Bloom, master drummer. I mean, you're up there for me as drummers go. Like Corey LaQuay from Muscala Drive is like second place. Derek Bloom is the first because most people that would play that type of drum style, I didn't think they would be like, why doesn't Senpai notice me when they see Tommy Lee? So I
I mean,
just
I don't know if I'm really he's a drummer that I have a lot of respect for or something like that. I didn't grow up like listening to him shred or or anything. I just it was just funny to me. It's I
why
don't know.
isn't Mr. Pamela Anderson looking at me?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh man, that's insane. So did like as a band, did you guys even get to meet Jimmy Kimmel? Like, does he like did he come up to you and be like,
Yeah,
"Hey
like
guys"?
I think after the performance there's like a sort of like procedural handshake or something, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
no real like I don't think maybe Matt or Travis talked to him briefly for a second, but I don't that's not that's I'm not the put me in front guy.
Jimmy, why don't you notice me?
Yeah, no, I probably snuck out to have a cigarette or something.
I mean, like, Godspeed to y'all. You guys like, there's like a handful of bands. I mean, like, Knock Loose was on Jimmy Kimmel's Spirit. I think like they were on there with Poppy. I was, and just like to have like that alumni of people from like Census Fail to the Used to My Chemical Romance. I think at the Drive-In was on Conan, and they were on
Yeah, for
Jimmy.
sure.
And just like having screamo, emo, post-hardcore type vibes on basic cable, like
Yeah, for
that's just
sure.
cool.
Yeah, it's awesome that happened in the first place. Like it's really cool to be able to look back and be like, oh, wow, I got to do that. I mean, same with like that show with The Cure that we did in Spain, where it was a fucking nightmare to do it. We were in the middle of a tour, and I think we played one show in Texas, then went to the airport, flew to fucking Spain and sound checked, and then played the show a few hours later, and then maybe stayed the night and flew back first thing the next morning, landed, played another show in Texas. And
Yeah,
like it was, but at the same point, it was The Cure. Like
right.
we had no business being there. I don't think anybody that was there knew or cared that we were there, but who fucking cared? You know what I mean? We got to play with The Cure there.
Did you guys have that same feeling when you played with Kiss?
No, 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 that was bullshit. Those guys
I think
sucked.
Deftones also played for Kiss. Like they opened for them. I think that was like 98 or something.
Yeah.
And just I don't know what's wrong with Kiss fans, why they hate the openers of the band. I know they want to see Kiss. I get it. But
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's one of those bands that probably could just tour without a fucking opener, and there's lots of bands like that. Um, oh, I just got my 5-minute notification, by the way.
awesome.
Um, but uh, but yeah, that was another one of those things that just sometimes you're on a major label and that's the kind of bullshit you end up
You
doing
get
because
hookups, but they sometimes come with
they just make no fucking sense. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you
pretty
don't
much.
I still like even though we were maybe towards the end of our run, it's like I feel like we were a bit too young of a band to be touring with geriatrics, you know.
That's why I like you, Derek. You always fucking real with it, man. I love that. If you have, because I since you got your 5-minute warning and you got your about
Yeah.
4 minutes left, I thought I could just take this time to like kind of shout out because I do musical promotion and I work with a lot of cool bands and Skydrifter is definitely one of them. They sent me this awesome shirt. They're from they live out in Nevada. They're from Utah, but they're awesome. They have a new song out. I have a couple bands I was gonna bring up to you. I had Lore, who just came out with a brand new song. It features the former singer of Cat Company. They have Dwellings and Properties of Nature features on their new EP. It just dropped today, just like Cholera Violins just dropped today.
Nice. Have
Yeah,
to
they're
check
a
it out.
really cool band. This new song they just dropped, they have a bunch of animated music videos, so it's really cool. It's kind of just like, like I like cartoons, and if you get put some good music, they just dropped one has like Latin fusion mixed with like post-hardcore, so
Oh, nice.
really cool. I really like the band. They got a masked frog as the instrumentalist, and they have the former singer of Cat Company. I just
Hell
think
yeah.
that's a really cool dynamic for a band. It's like,
Yeah,
go
no,
for it,
that
bud.
sounds fun.
But to shout out some more bands because I don't want to take up all your time. I know you're running on you got to
Oh,
go handle business, brother.
you're good, man.
Awesome. So I have Lake Mar just came out with a new song called Reanimatrix, which I think that's isn't that like an animated Matrix movie? I think that was a good movie. I thought that movie was great. Lake Mar, they spell their name Lake like a lake. Mar is MRE/E. I think the E is silent. So Go check out Reanimatrix, Lake Mar. I'll send you this playlist after,
Yeah,
along with
yeah,
that from
yeah.
first to last G Drive.
Yeah,
We
for
have
sure.
Island Asylum. They have a new song out called "Thank My Pain." It's kind of like hard rock meets reggae, and I haven't really seen a band do that since like Skindred. They're not as heavy as Skindred, but they want to be. I think they're enthralled with the idea of getting heavier, but they
Yeah.
still bring a good vibe. Further shouting out, I want to shout out As We Rise. They released a new song called The Limit Whore. And I think
Tight.
that's a great name because I think they were
Yeah,
trying to
no,
like
that's
call it like
tight.
Eliminator, but they just went with Eliminate Whore, and I'm just like, that's good. That's a good way to get people to go listen to your song because I like it
Totally.
when people give spoonerisms and just get kind of creative with just swear words. I think
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
totally. Wait, I feel like my friend Ryan wanted to start a like a death metal band called Sodomitition. I thought that
What?
was a I thought that was a great name.
That's really
Anyway,
sick. I would think that's a really sick name.
yeah,
Um,
totally.
my homies Dread from right here in Arizona where I currently live. I'm from SoCal just like yourself. But the homies Dread, they just came out with two new songs, Inhale, Exhale, and they have Awakening. They're really good metalcore, just kind of like a borderline on like deathcore, but there's some synths in there for those crabcore fans. Really good stuff. I'm always a big fan of them. Arsenic Kitchen, also from Arizona. I believe they're going to be working with somebody in the near future. I don't want to give away too many details, but
Gotcha.
Devil's Advocate is their new song. It's from their upcoming EP handbook for the recently deceased. So for anyone that has an ounce of goth blood in their veins, they know that's a Beetlejuice reference. And if you throw a Beetlejuice reference at me, I'm probably going to check it out.
Yeah, fair.
Very fair. Also want to shout out the homies Never Ender. They have a cool song called Post Car Crash Coitus, which I just think is a brilliant name. That makes me want to listen to it,
That's
you know.
like that what was that Cronenberg movie Crash where people would have car accidents and get super turned on by it and they'd all,
Maybe they're onto something. Maybe that's what they were doing,
if it wasn't, they should check it out. It sounds right up their alley.
right? And I wanted to shout out Never Rest, which features the bass player of I Wrestled a Bear Once,
Oh,
Mike
nice.
Martin,
I
Rickshaw.
remember
I believe you've toured
we
with Wrestled a Bear once.
yeah, I remember them. They were cool.
Yeah. I
They're
hope they
from
come
like
back.
where are they from Baton Rouge or something? They're from
Something like
Louisiana.
that. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I believe Rickshaw Michael lives in Texas now. He's doing Never Rest. They're about to play a show with Let Live, which that's really sick. I like Fever 333, Let Live. Those bands are sick. Um, I want to shout out. Let's see. That new song that from First to Last did Mirror Soul with Kellen Quinn was pretty sick. I don't know if you've had a chance to check it out yet, but
Yeah, 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 absolutely. They sent me a bounce right before the day we're getting ready to put it out. It sounds great. Yeah,
oh yeah.
everybody did a fucking sick job.
Oh yeah. Huge shout out to Kellen Quinn. We know that your wife's got major surgery and you gotta be there, be the man
Yeah,
of the house, take care of your woman. Much respect. I know he was supposed to appear at Furnace Fest today, but life sometimes comes first. And I've always
yeah,
said myself, real life comes first. And I don't
yeah,
blame anyone taking care of their personal life
yeah.
before
That's
the
just
music
way,
thing.
way more important.
Right?
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
happiness. You can't do the
Yeah,
music thing if your real life isn't happy. You know what I mean? There's plenty of miserable people that try to make the music work, but it'll always end up rearing its head and it just gets harder and harder to do when you're not happy in real life.
yeah,
But there's just a couple more bands. I'll just rattle them off real quick. That way we just get some cool algorithmic love. Maybe anybody who's stuck around to the end of this podcast before Derek has to run. John Mayer released a new song called Mississippi Queen. It's a cover of Mountains Mississippi Queen. So that's always cool to get some Southern rock and metal in there. And their name's pretty cool, John Mayer. It's like John Mayer, but it's pronounced like John, like you see that John, and then the Mayer, like nightmare. So John Mayer. I mean, that's just clever to me. I don't know about you,
yeah. There you go. I like it.
right? For All I Am came out with a new track. The Worlds Fall Apart. I don't know if you're familiar with For All I Am. They've been around for a minute. He used to be signed to Equal Vision Records. Aria is the homie. I love that guy. He's great. Hostile Array, which I think is a great band name. Hostile Array, just really good band name. They got two new songs out, Prey and Bitter Pill. I think just Hostile Array, like that's just a cool name. It just sounds like
Yeah,
something
it
like an action figure
sounds
or
fucking
something.
hot. Sounds hostile.
Anything that makes me feel hostile, I'm all about it, man.
Yeah.
We got tons of great bands on this playlist. It's on my Spotify. It's called Ryan Rex's Current Wave on my Apple phone right here, but it's on Spotify. It's sponsored by Warp Taste Podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Ghost Killer Entertainment. And if you want to find Derek on social media, I believe you don't have anything but Instagram these days, correct, Derek?
Yeah, I think I have a threads, but it's like
It's connected to.
I don't really use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the Instagram.
So God love.
Yeah. With an
So
underscore somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, so I won't spell that because I'm sure Derek appreciates some privacy. But if you're looking for Derek Bloom on Instagram, that's pretty much the only place you find him. If some Facebook account says, "Hi, I'm Derek Bloom," it's probably not Derek. Derek don't do
It's
that.
yeah, it's not me. It's not me. Don't fall for it. Don't give him any crypto. I gotta dip out, man, but
Awesome,
I
man. I
appreciate you
appreciate
taking
your
the
time,
time.
man. Thank
Hell
you
yeah.
so much, Derek. I hope
Yeah.
everything worked out great with the new collar violins. Congrats on Fever getting over 100,000 streams,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, yeah, thank you and thank everybody that's listened. Hopefully
Oh yeah.
hopefully they'll continue to like what we're doing.
Every goth club in America should be playing Fever by Cholera
Uh,
Violins.
oh
But
yeah, and I want to thank Epileptics also for their remix because he did
yeah,
a really Razors did a really amazing job on that. So I do want to say thank you to him for being so patient in the
yeah,
waiting to put it out because he was a
yeah.
real trooper.
Right before you go, there was a third project. You just started it recently. Its
Oh,
name. I want.
Enterado. Yeah,
There you go. Yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't
yeah,
want to. I don't. I want to just get everybody because I know from first to last is why people are going to show up. Whatever. I don't care.
yeah.
I need everybody to go check out that band. Go find them on Instagram. I think that's where you guys are at, right?
Yeah, and I've got a link to the last Enterado single in my bio, so people can go to I think the video for that.
Amazing. Awesome, Derek. You go
Yeah.
handle your business, brother. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
your time
much,
so
man.
much.
Have
Thank
a
you
good
too,
one.
Derek. You have a great
All
night,
right.
man. Take
You
care.
too. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye. Oh, he's gone. You guys have a great evening. Thanks for watching Warp Chase Podcast.